Hey everyone, it's Jared. We're out here at Forest Park Disc Golf Course in Brazil, Indiana. We're gonna play the 18-hole course today, try to get a practice round in. I got a tourney here in a couple weeks, and probably not gonna keep score this round. Throw, a few discs off each tee pad, and just try to get a feel for the disc that I'm gonna want to throw during the tournament. So let's get going. All right, hole one is 294 feet, pretty much straight ahead. This is a park style course, so lots of mature trees. There is a slight hyzer line on the right side, so I'm gonna throw a Opto-X Explorer and see if I can get it to fade towards the basket. First throw of the day, missed my line pretty well. There was also a straight up the gap line. I'm gonna try to throw a Moonshine EMAC Truth. Hopefully this goes a little better. Everything's coming out a little high today. So we caught some branches and sat down on the right side of the fairway. There's a couple trees in between us and the basket. I'm just gonna try to go right in between them, get ourselves a inside the circle putt for par. That'll work. All right, hole two, 336 feet. Plays mostly open to the right. This fence along the armory here is out of bounds if you go over it. So I'm gonna throw a Fusion Enforcer, try to make sure that if I throw it over that fence, it has a chance to fade back in bounds. Probably have a just outside the circle putt for that one. There's also an ante or a forehand line. I don't throw very well with a forehand, so I'm going to try to throw a Fusion Maverick on an ante and see if I can't get it to push out over this out of bounds track to the left and then fade back towards the basket. That's probably a circle two putt. So my depth perception is a little off today. We're probably closer to 70 feet away from the basket on that Maverick. Our Enforcer is probably 35 feet from the basket. So during these practice rounds, I'd rather putt from the position that I'd least like to be in. So I'm gonna putt back here from this Maverick and see if we can jump one in. Should be an easy par. Hole three, 177 feet. I'm just gonna throw a judge at it, try to make it stick. Got a little high, but we got a putt. All right, hole 4, 201 feet, pretty much straight ahead. We got a few more trees to contend with in the last hole, so I'm just gonna throw this judge again, see if we can get it there. Actually scooted a little long. Hole 5, 294, pretty much straight ahead. There's maybe one tree right up near the basket you gotta miss. I'm gonna throw a Biofusion Verdict. Hope it has just enough stability to keep me from turning over. Well, I hit the one tree next to the basket and got a bad roll away. We're going to throw a Lucid Verdict this time. Little more stability. Hopefully I won't get caught up in the stuff on the right side that I got caught up in just a second ago. Yeah, that thing's parked. Hole 6, 270 feet. The basket's kind of down there in between all those trees. It's pretty wide open on the right side. There is an up the middle gap, but I think at 270, a big kind of hyzer around this tree seems to be the play. So we're gonna throw a Fusion Enforcer and see if we can spike it in there. We actually threw it way too far, so I'm gonna disc down to a felon, and if that'll get there, then we probably don't need all the speed of the Enforcer. It was a little tight, but I think if we get it out on the line we're actually aiming for, we can get that felon to the basket. So even after hitting this tree, our felon wound up 35, 40 feet away from the basket. So I do think that the felon's probably going to be the play, since I think I threw the Enforcer 75 feet past the basket. Hole 7, 228 feet, pretty much dead straight. We're gonna throw a Lucid Judge this time. The next couple holes are gonna be putter shots, so we're gonna really try to see if our Judge can handle putting a little power on it. These are pretty new to my bag, so I'm gonna try to get them used to my throw. Let that one go a little early. Fade it out left. We'll throw the, I think it's a classic blend, Judge. See if we can throw it a little straighter than that. Yep, it definitely has the distance. We're probably right outside the circle on that one. Hole 8, 198 feet. Pretty straightforward. I think the play here is, you know, don't hit the trees on the right and try not to throw it past the basket. So we're gonna throw this classic blend Judge again. Maybe a 20-footer. That's hole 8. Hole 9, 366 feet. Once you get past these big 2 trees, it's pretty much wide open. It's a dead straight shot. I'm gonna throw a lucid truss pass with a little bit of hyzer. I think there's enough tailwind here that at the end of the flight I should be able to get it to fade back at the basket. So we'll see. So I did not need that hyzer. The tailwind definitely held its stability out. So we're gonna throw a beat up lucid truss pass here and see if I can actually get it to turn a little and then flex out. Well, it went pretty much dead straight, and I'm not sure, I mean, my depth perception's bad, but that feels a lot further than 366, but yeah, we came up a little short. All right, so yeah, we came up a little short relative to the tee pad, but I'm probably 80 feet from the basket on this first throw. It's gonna give us a good opportunity to throw a standstill approach shot, really get used to how much power we need to put into it in order to get it close enough to the basket where we don't really have to worry about putting anymore. So that was a little wide, a little long. We'll give the lucid a try. Much better. Hole 10, 360. I think this is one of the more difficult holes on the course. I'm gonna throw a Fusion Raider, see if we can hit this gap to the right and let it fade at the basket. Well, looks like I got a good skip. That might be the best shot I've ever thrown on this hole. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw first run raider and see if I can duplicate it. Yeah, I got a little high, hit some branches early. All right, so here's the trouble on this hole. I hit branches early and set down. I still got another 280 feet to the basket. I'm gonna throw a beat up EMAC Truth. Gonna try to throw it straight at it. I'm not sure that the outside route, if I have anything that'll fade sharp enough to get me the distance and still put me close to the basket. Got a little more fade than I wanted on that one. That's all right. So the Raider put us probably 20-25 feet from the basket on the first shot, but it's always good to know that I can scramble and still take a par when we don't get off the tee very well. Hole 11, it's 210 feet, basically straight ahead, got some trees in the way. It's a judge shot, pretty much anything under 250 and dead straight, that's what I'm going with. Used a little more fade. Let's try the Lucid. Sometimes I have a tendency to, when I'm looking for something to fade, throwing it out right. Really should be trying to hit the same line and just letting the disc do the work. So the good thing here is that hitting this tree gives us another opportunity to throw a standstill up shot. You always want to practice, you know, some shots that could potentially happen. If I just run through here, you know, just putt for my best shots, it's not really giving me a real good look at the course and knowing, okay, even if I hit this tree, I'm wide open. You know, put it up under the basket, take your par, move on, try to get it next round. That'll do. On to hole 12. All right, this hole's 204 feet. This gravel road to my left, on and over, is all out of bounds. There is a forehand line, which I may try on my second shot, but kind of throw it straight in between these two big trees, something that's not gonna fade too much. Pretty easy hole. I'm gonna throw a Lucid Suspect, kind of at the ground, you know, 3/4 of the way there, and see if it'll skid up to the basket. it flared pretty good. I'm probably 25 feet away. I'm gonna throw a Lucid Justice on a forehand, see if I can. Don't laugh at me, I'm not very good at these. So it definitely had the stability to make sure I didn't go out of bounds, but I'm probably a little short. Not the play I would normally take. The dead straight. Try not to get as much of a flare out of that suspect. Pretty straightforward hole. Hole 13, 180 feet. I know I said everything under 250 dead straight was going to be a judge, but I think I'm going to throw a deputy on this hole. It's just down, down the valley, up the hill. You got, branches on the left to miss. I want to be able to throw it pretty soft and have it go straight and glide and get there. I'm not sure that my judge will hold straight enough to do that, so we're gonna throw this. If it doesn't work, we'll try the judge and see if it works out better. Yeah, that was a little straight, so maybe my first thought on throwing a judge was correct. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just getting in those trees. There we go. All right, hole 14, 291. It's pretty much behind that big clump of trees. There's a whole bunch of rocks on the left side that are all out of bounds. I think this might be the hardest hole on the course, or at least for me. I tend to throw into that out of bounds a lot, and I'm gonna throw a lucid verdict. The plan is to go to the right of that clump of trees and have it just fade at the basket, and I think as long as you're long enough, I should be able to get past all those rocks, so we'll see what happens. So it took a skip. I'm probably in those rocks. I'm gonna throw a biofusion verdict, see if I can get it to press a little further. That started to fade a little earlier than I expected. Probably too much hyzer on that. We'll get down there and see where they're at. So they're both in bounds. I'm gonna assume I got a pretty generous bounce off the rocks with the second shot. The first shot was long enough, I think, that even if it fades and skips, I should be able to stay out of the out of bounds, but that's probably gonna be my plan for the tournament. Those would be the two best shots I've ever thrown on this hole. So hole 15 is 225, kind of just a soft little hyzer. behind a couple trees. The biggest issue here is staying under the limbs of the first big tree you come to. They knock down a lot of shots, and really you want to throw something kind of on a hyzer and have it skip just a little towards the basket. So I'm gonna throw a lucid S suspect and see if we can get that to happen. Yep, good skip. We should have a putt. So obviously during the tourney we're not really going to know how the ground plays until the day of, but with that kind of skip, you know, 20 footer, I think I'd probably take that any day. Hole 16, 210. You guessed it, straightforward. It's a judge. So let's see if we can finagle through some of these trees and get ourselves a putt. I think that should be good. I'm gonna throw a lucid suspect kind of out to the right a little more. See if maybe throwing it out and letting it fade a little more maybe easier than trying to pump a judge all the way out there. Well, we had about the same results, but I didn't really hit the line I was looking for with that suspect, so we'll go see what we got. Since they turned out pretty good, I'm gonna throw maybe a 40 footer and a couple 40 footers at it and then pick them up and move on. Hole 17, 219 feet. It's pretty much a soft hyzer like 2 holes ago. I want to throw a lucid suspect at it. I think I could probably get a judge there, but this is kind of my safe play for this type of shot, so we're going to see how this works. Yeah, it might be a little long. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this judge and see, see what kind of shot it can produce us here, and maybe something we look at doing during the tourney. Yeah, not like that. I just threw that about, I don't know, 30 degrees the wrong direction, so I think we'll stay with the suspect. Starting to lose a little daylight, so we're just gonna pick up and move on. All right, hole 18, 354. It's kind of an open, wide open hyzer to the right. I'm gonna throw that Fusion Raider. I don't know, it looks a lot more open than the last time I was here, but maybe I've just been looking at the hole wrong. I'd say I'm inside the circle. I know you couldn't really see it because of the light and everything, but you know, big open hyzer set by the basket, so hopefully we'll have a putt. Hey guys, I'm in my car now because it's maybe 32 degrees outside right now, and I did not wear a sweatshirt. So I just finished my round at Forest Park Disc Golf Course, 18 holes. I think every hole out here is gettable, which can make it a good and a bad course. I think courses like this are really set up for beginners, intermediate players. For someone who plays advanced and is looking to turn pro, it can be a course that if you're off just a little bit, it can really ruin your score, ruin your round rating, everything like that. I normally try not to play tournaments here. I have before, and I typically don't play very well. You know, a good score here is 10 to 12 down, and a lot of times I'll come out here and shoot 5 down and be nowhere close to winning. But it just comes with the type of course it is. Everything's reachable, everything's birdieable. You know, I don't consider it a great course because mostly because of the baskets. There's 3 different types of baskets on this course, and you know, I know it's probably a funding thing, and I get it, and it's not the best course in the area, so it doesn't get that much attention. But the other thing, that the tee pads are a little short. I think I have a pretty long run up, but if these tee pads are 4 foot long, I'd be surprised. But overall, you know, it's not a bad course. It'd be a great course to learn on, in my opinion, but not a course that I would want to play all the time. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the round. I hope you liked getting maybe a little look into how I personally practice for a tournament. It's not, you know, the same as every other pro. I have picked up some things from them, you know, not putting my little short putts, trying to use bad drives to learn the course. But, you know, I also understand that if I throw a bad shot, it's not necessarily because it was the wrong disc, but it might be because I just didn't have it that day, which is completely possible for someone, you know, who's still an amateur like myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I can bring you more videos like this, and make sure you like and subscribe and all the other YouTube-y things that, you know, get my video around, and hopefully more people can take advantage of it. Thanks, guys.